The Toltecs say that we are dreaming 100% of the time. They talk about this concept of a metote. The metote means a gathering of people, and it implies that they all talk at once. They claim that the collective has an agreement, and the agreement is what they agree is real. So they agree upon reality. And that agreement has force. It has force that can affect an individual. The individual is subject to some degree to the collective force, the mass conscious agreement of the collective. That has a certain weight to it, a certain force to it, a certain inertia to it. And we have all these levels of agreement, from the global agreement to the national agreement, to the regional agreement, to the family agreement, and finally down to the individual agreement. And at the individual level, it's a personal belief system that is also tied into all those other agreements. So you can see how it sort of forms a very strong bond, a very strong chain of agreements. These agreements altogether represent a collective dream space, a vortex, if you will, of power that has a certain inertia, a force going in a certain direction. And in order to utilize the collective agreement power, there has to be a breakdown of the belief system that fuels it. Those belief systems are supported by emotions. I mentioned this in my first book, Parallel Mind, The Art of Creativity, how emotions support beliefs, support the mental constructs of beliefs. And beliefs have reality only when emotions are applied to them. The emotional reality supports the mental belief construct and helps to catalyze them or make them manifest in reality. So the responsibility of people who are striving to be aware, to be conscious, is to change the dream, to choose the dream. If you've ever had a lucid dream, you know that you are able to change the course of your dreams. And dreams are relatively easy to change the course of, but it's very difficult to become awake in the dream. And the tendency is to fall unconscious again. Now, this is a wonderful metaphor for what we think of as our awake state, which is actually our dreaming state, another dreaming state. It's very difficult to remain conscious of one's own power to change the dream. Bringing the power of a lucid dream into what you think of as your awake state is extremely powerful thing to do. It means that now you have the power to be conscious at all times. And then from that state, you can start to eliminate the things that are unconscious, creating a vacuum, shall we say, a void, into which you insert the seeds of your next reality, the seeds of your next dream. Never again falling asleep to the fact that you created it and that you have the power to create worlds. Now, how do we do this collectively? We can say, oh, well, that's fine for me, but what about all those people that are getting killed and who knows where now? They keep on changing where it is. I want a world where no one gets killed. I want a world where everyone has equal opportunity. I want a world where children can be safe, where we don't have to worry anymore about how we're going to make the rent or if we're going to be taken care of in our old age, etc., etc., etc. So if you are concerned with those things, you are like me, you like to build worlds. You don't want to just build your own world, you want to build the world. And you want to make a world that is good for everyone so that, children can have a great inheritance of the world that you created rather than that awful thing that we have created, which is the old dream. Now, Bashar says that it's great to create negativity because it creates like a rubber band effect where you stretch the rubber band back as far as you can go, put a huge amount of tension on it. The more tension you put on it, when you fire it, when you let it go, the further it goes. I think that's true. It's happening in the collective. But it's not time for us to be that way. It's time for us to be totally conscious and to be choosing the elements of the next dream. In the void that we create, the vacuum that we create by consciously removing all the elements that don't belong in the new reality, by taking away beliefs such as, I'm not supported, a belief that you feel abandoned, a belief that you're not loved, a feeling that you may never get ahead, a need for success, a need to be loved, all those needs, all those falsely motivated desires. Those desires are based upon a feeling of hierarchy and control and domination that comes from the Matrix, the old false system of beliefs. I talk about this in my new book, Unplug from the Matrix, and how it's very important to understand that these are false beliefs. These are false emotional realities that don't belong to a future of empowerment and abundance for all. So as we take away those things one by one, chop them off one by one. I've done it in my life. I've gotten rid of jealousy. Oh, it comes back every now and then, but it's kind of cute when it comes back because I can see it more easily. I've gotten rid of hatred. I've gotten rid of a lot of things, a lot of beliefs, and I'm still working on more. But I know that that's my path. And if it's yours too, I recommend that you read my books. It's all in my books. For me, to write something means that I have to be authentic about myself. I have to express my own path openly, talk about what has worked for me. I'm not the kind of person who says that what works for me works for everyone. However, I have uncovered a few things that are very useful. And beliefs and the tie of emotions to beliefs is extremely useful.